Imagine with me just for a moment that you are a boardroom member in Disney. You're sitting at the table, bunch of suits around you, and you are getting ready to ramp up and launch Disney Plus. But your major competition is a free platform owned by the largest company, or at least one of the largest companies on the planet, Google. We're talking about YouTube and how this platform is providing free content to millions upon billions of people around the world. How do you come out with a subscription service and overcome that? Make people leave YouTube and go to Disney? This might get a little bit nefarious. Now, I do want to say, full disclosure, I have zero proof of anything that I'm about to say. Today's episode is more of a hypothetical question, just throwing it out there because there are one too many coincidences going along the lines of what's going on with COPPA right now and the FTC going after YouTube and then lining that up with what's happened with Disney over the past few years that I just felt like this needed to be said. Disney was pursued by the FTC for violating COPPA back in August of 2017. And then fast forward to May of 2019, they tried getting it thrown out by a court of law, and the judge said, no, we are still coming after you. Now with that in mind, Disney is now well aware of what the FTC and COPPA is all about. And all these bigwigs at Disney already know that there are companies out there getting away with it, YouTube being the biggest of them. Now YouTube, I don't want to act like is innocent here because we all know they were caught with their hand in the cookie jar, red-handed, taking data from kids under the age of 13, storing it, and then selling it to advertisers, allowing them to target these kids with ads, which is illegal. You're not allowed to do that. YouTube paid a fine of $170 million to the FTC, washed their hands of it, and now has passed the buck to the creators, and that's where we are right now. How did we get to this point though? It is curious that Disney had to deal with the FTC previously and how the FTC came about coming after YouTube now. 20 advocacy groups got together, joined hands and said, FTC, you need to go after Google. You need to find YouTube. You need to make an example of them because they are illegally storing data from these kids. Why did these advocacy groups all of a sudden band together and come after YouTube, even though this law was in effect since the late 90s, 1998, I believe it goes back into, and then was updated in 2013. But yet 6 years later, here we are, 20 advocacy groups randomly just coming together and saying, now is the time to go after YouTube. Even though YouTube has been doing this since day one. Putting the pieces together and aligning them perfectly, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a smoking gun in all of this coming from Disney. Somebody in corporate leaking this information to these advocacy groups to get YouTube in trouble so that they would have to pay a fine and scale back how they handle children's content to the point of almost removing it from the entire platform. That's one way to get people to migrate from YouTube to paying for a service like Disney Plus. And oh, how convenient that Disney Plus just came out when this all hit the fan. Just a coincidence. And I'm not one that typically believes in coincidences. Could it be? Yes. But if you know Disney, the House of Mouse, you don't F with them because they will get you where it hurts. I'm a small enough channel, I'd like to think they don't want to come after me, but you don't mess with Disney. And when Disney wants something, Disney gets it. And nothing will ever stop them. Not even Google. Not even the largest video platform on the planet in YouTube. I wouldn't put it past a boardroom member or boardroom in general coming together, putting their heads together and saying, hey guys, I got an idea. Remember how the FTC came after us a couple of years ago? I got a friend over in one of these groups that is an advisory that talks to these governmental officials, and we can get them to go after YouTube, hit them where it hurts, and by default, those people will eventually move over to our platform, and we will make infinite, ludicrous amounts of money from them. I mean, yes, don't get me wrong, Disney is very cute exterior-wise. It's kind of hard to argue with a face like this. But when you start to put the pieces together, it's hard not to think that Disney did not have a hand in doing this. Maybe I'm crazy, but I wouldn't put anything past Disney. That being said, YouTube is screwed when it comes to kids' content going forward. This law, while it does make sense from specific angles, I get why they want to protect the kids, and it makes sense. And like I said, YouTube was caught red-handed with acquiring data that they shouldn't have been doing. Okay, they paid a fine and have moved on from it. The problem going forward is YouTube can't make personalized ads for these kids' channels, and with that in mind, those channels stand to make 90% less. 90%. That's how big of a difference it is from targeted ads to non-targeted ads. Statistics will show that targeted ads sell more products, and because of that, they're willing to pay far more to get their products in front of the people that actually care about them. So these kids' channels are going somewhere. They're going away, and YouTube can't really do anything to fight back because of that law. Even though the law was originally intended so that kids wouldn't put their phone numbers and addresses online for order forms and stuff. That was where it was originally started, but it's now morphed into this cookies aren't allowed and data isn't allowed to be kept on these kids because then you can target these kids. And like I said, I get it, but this is why YouTube is screwed. And Disney Plus isn't. It's a paid service. Everything is under Disney's control. They are able to get whatever they want in front of people's eyes, and they don't have to worry about consumer advocacy groups because it's their service. People pay for it. They sign up for it. And come on. It's Disney at the end of the day, so it's really hard to argue with it. All the shows have been rated by the ratings board, and everything is on the up and up when it comes to things available on Disney Plus. Well, except for those old Dumbo cartoons and the other things that definitely have some outdated cultural references, but they took care of that on their end as well by giving people a disclaimer before those air. Anyways, back to my main point. Nothing would surprise me about this, but because it just came up randomly and all the information we have leading up to it is Disney having a reason, they have a motive, they have information, they've been hit by it before, so they knew about it, they had knowledge, everything put together, it just kind of makes sense that Disney had something to do with the FTC coming after Google and YouTube.
The FTC is bringing independent piecemeal actions against content creators for violating COPPA. That may discourage content creators from posting content on YouTube.
Where do we go from here? Who knows? But Google, as of right now, with kids' content on YouTube, is screwed, and Disney Plus stands to make a hell of a lot more money once that content goes the way of the dodo. Because even the older kids' content on YouTube is subject to being scrutinized by this FTC COPPA law. With that being said, a lot of that content stands to be removed. And if they can't watch kids' content on YouTube, they're gonna migrate over to a different service, whether it be Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, wherever they go, it's gonna be away from a free service like YouTube and onto a paid streaming service like Disney. All in all, if Disney is behind this, holy crap, it's kinda genius in one of the most nefarious business ways I have ever seen. Maybe I'm crazy, but I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this. That's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing. And Epstein didn't kill himself.